What's good, YouTube? Sensational Sinceres here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division vendor reset video. We're here for April 16th, 2021's vendor reset. So let's get right into this to see what we got good for this week. For our first gear items, head over to Camp Hudson. Here the weapons vendor has a military L86 LSW. And also here we got a heavy magazine spring with 3% critical hit chance, 5% reload speed, and 10.90% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Hudson. Head over to the gear vendor here. We got some Spec Op gloves with the Talon Savage on there. For our next gear items, head over to the meat locker. Here the weapons vendor has a small grip with 18% critical hit damage, 4.50% reload speed, and 4.50% optimal range. For our next gear items, head over to the base of operations. Here the Dart Zone gear vendor has a black market RPK-74E. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the weapons vendor here, and we got a loud vent break with 18% critical hit damage, 2% accuracy, and 3% critical hit chance. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the advanced weaponry vendor, and here we got a Lova C. It's not a good roll, but I figured I'd mention it. Next here we got a SR-SA1. Also here we got a timer suppressor with 7% critical hit chance, 2% accuracy, and 5% optimal range. And also here we got a C79 scope with 19% critical hit damage, 6% headshot damage, and 2.50% stability. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a black market AK-74. Also here we got a tactical mask with the Talon Tenacious. Next here we got a prototype Firearms Mod with 267 firearms and 2.50% exotic damage resilience. Next here we got a prototype Performance Mod with 7% turret health. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a first wave PF45 blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here we got a holster blueprint with a gear score of 256. And also here we got an EXP S3 holographic sight tan blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, head over to Camp Clinton. Here the special equipment vendor has a Cassidy. Next here we got a Please 74. Also here we got an operator mask with the Talent Refreshed on there. Next here we got an operator pack with the Talent Relentless. Also here we got a prototype Performance Mod with 5% ballistic shield damage resilience. Also here we got a compensator with 13.50% stability, 5% optimal range, and 6% headshot damage. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Clinton. Head over to the special blueprints vendor. Here we got a classic RPK-74 blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here we got a Snub Rhino blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here we got a holster blueprint with a gear score of 256. For our next gear items, head over to Dante's Run. Here the gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the Talent Refreshed on there. For our next gear items, head over to Wolves Den. Here the weapons vendor has a Covert SRS. For our next gear items, head over to Madison Stand. Here the gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the Talent Tenacious on there. For our next gear items, head over to the Ward. Here the gear vendor has a tactical mask with the Talent Enduring on there. And also here we got a prototype Performance Mod with 6% sticky bomb explosion radius. For our next gear items, head over to the Southpaw. Here the gear vendor has an operator mask with the Talent Tenacious on there. And also here we got a prototype Performance Mod with 7% support station duration. For our next gear items, head over to the Grindhouse. Here the weapons vendor has an AUG A3 Para XS. For our next gear items, head over to the Crypt. Here the weapons vendor has a Scar L. For our next gear items, head over to West 31st Street Checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has an operator mask with the Talent Refreshed on there. Next here we got a prototype Performance Mod with 3.50% Seeker Mine damage. And also here we got a compensator with 13.50% stability, 3% critical hit chance, and 2% accuracy. For our next gear items, head over to West 39th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a military M60E4. And also here we got a prototype Stamina Mod with 262 stamina and 1% critical hit chance. For the next gear items, head over to West 53rd Street Checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a tactical UMP-45. Next here we got a prototype Performance Mod with 5.50% first aid self-heal. For our next gear items, head over to East 61st Street Checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone weapon mod vendor has an extended magazine with 111.50% magazine size, 2.50% critical hit chance, and 5.30% rate of fire. Next here we got Omega rifle suppressor with 18.50% headshot damage, 4% optimal range, and 4% critical hit damage. And also here we got a 5.52 hollow sight with 7.50% critical hit chance, 4% critical hit damage, and 2.50% stability. For our next gear items, head over to East 58th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent Enduring on there. Next here we got an operator vest with the talent Vigorous. Also here we got a tactical pack with the talent Inventive. For our next items, head over to the Park Ave checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a black market AK-74. Also here we got a double barrel shotgun. Next here we got a surplus SVD. For our next gear items, head over to East 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an operator mask with the talent Tenacious on there. And also here we got an extended magazine with 112% magazine size, 4% critical hit damage, and 4.50% reload speed. For our next gear items, head over to East 46th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a PP-19. For our next gear items, head over to East 31st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a loud vent break with 18% critical hit damage, 5% optimal range, and 6% headshot damage. For our next gear items, head over to the 5th Ave checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a custom P416G3. Next here we got a Spec Ops pack with the talent Inventive. For our next gear items, head over to DZ2 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent Rehabilitated on there. For our next gear items, head over to DZ3 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a Police T821. Also here we got a black market AK-74. Next here we got a SASG-12. Also here we got an M700 Tactical. Next here we got a military MK-46. For our next gear items, head over to DZ5 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 2.50% critical hit chance, 4% critical hit damage, and 11.20% rate of fire. For our next gear items, head over to DZ8 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has an operator mask with the talent Enduring. And also here we got an operator pack with the talent Inventive on there. For our next gear items, head over to DZ9 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a high velocity magazine with 7% critical hit chance, 12% magazine size, and 4.90% rate of fire. Also here we got a vertical grip foliage green with 48% optimal range, 4% critical hit damage, and 2.50% stability. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division vendor reset video for April 16th, 2021's vendor reset. I hope everybody tuned into it, found them something that they needed. Smash on that sub and like button, y'all appreciate that support, and I'll see y'all with the next one everybody. Take care, peace.